The clown, the beast, and the heretic. How silly is the time we live in, where we are forced to treat unreality as being reality, and what has always been real as being fantasy. A man who used to spend his time making jokes and playing would have been called a jester, or a clown, or a fool. And though that may not have been a derogatory title, it was a limiting title. For since this man was a child that never became a man, then he had no right to sit at the table when the grown ups were doing grown up things. He was a clown. That's what he chose to be. Make us laugh. Put on a show. That is your place. And it's an important place. But when it comes to running the world, stay out of it. And let the adults do it. A clown was not a thing to be aspired to for that very purpose, that to make oneself a clown was to eliminate oneself from the world of men, from fatherhood and husbandry, from tradesmanship and theology. These were things that the men did, and the clown gave us rest at the end of the week. The same can be said for the false teacher or the heretic. If a man was unorthodox or taught doctrine contrary to the sound teaching of the church and scripture, this man may not have necessarily been excommunicated, though he may have been that, but he surely was treated as a heretic. This man has chosen to separate himself from the history of the church teaching, and so men knew to separate themselves from his teaching. He may have been treated with mercy, but he was not treated as having a legitimate voice as a teacher of the people. The people avoided him, that they too would not be avoided. They closed their ears to him, lest they became a partaker of his heresy. For what a man taught and believed was seen as being as dangerous as what a man did. For the two went together very intimately. At least a wiser age understood that. The heretic forfeited his place in the church and in religion, his seat as a teacher, and his place among the faithful. And all this was his own choosing. And lastly, we can speak about the person who rejected all of human nature and custom. This person, who we may call the beast, was seen as being a reject, not merely because society rejected them, but because they rejected themselves in rejecting what is human. This person was seen as being dangerous to themselves and society because they represented the destruction of humanity, since they themselves rejected and distorted their own humanity. This person that shouldn't be. This person was rightly called a freak, or a beast, or a barbarian, or a fool. They were something that represented something that shouldn't be, and definitely something that shouldn't be embraced or accepted. The people treated reality as reality. Someone who rejected humanity was rejected as being inhuman, not unhuman, but inhuman, as representing something that, if embraced, would attack humanity at its very roots. You see, a different age treated the clown as a joke, the heretic as a false teacher, and the beast as inhuman. Reality was treated as reality, and the decisions of each bear the right consequences. But today, everything is turned on its head. The clown has the right to sit at the table with the grown men and give his opinion on things he doesn't even really care about. The false teacher is able to start his own church and have his own following and to be seen as merely an alternative to Christ's true religion. And the beast is treated as merely another option, an alternate version of humanity. But really, all these things are merely fantasy. The beast does not represent an alternative version of humanity, but the death of true humanity and the embracing of bestiality. The clown does not represent a legitimate grown man doing adult tasks, but instead, with the clown sitting at the table, all the adult subjects become jokes. And where godly men would fight for the minds of the youth, the clown votes that we just make them laugh. The serious subjects become whimsical because the quality of men that now deal with them are whimsical themselves. And the false teacher, he's not an alternative teacher, but someone who is the opposite of a teacher. For teachers bring truth and reality. He only clouds it, makes it uncertain. And the acceptance of his existence as an alternative teacher merely mocks the truth and makes it unnecessary, at least to the minds of the people. And all this goes about without any recourse for the sane man who represents old, true humanity. The man who made the decision to grow up and to become a man, to laugh at a clown but never to listen to his opinion, to close his ears at a false teacher and not even to see him as a teacher, to protect society from the beast so that the children would remain human. It is not that this man is too serious. It is that he is a man who has the right to sit at the adults' table, to receive and to talk with other men about how to protect and promote true humanity and religion. This man today is placed on the same plane as a clown, a beast, and a heretic. And thus, this human civilization is becoming a joke, a jungle, and an altar where humanity is sacrificed by the false priest. Sacrificed on an altar by the false priest.